What's up, y'all? This is Week 1 podcast for the regular season. I'm your host, Aaron Smith. I want to start off with a tribute to our troops, thanking them for September 11th. We haven't forgot about all the lives that were sacrificed during that time, and our country's great. So we appreciate everything that they've done for us, and I just want to start off by saying thank you for that. Bringing on in now is my co-commissioner, Mr. Kyle Moorfield, king of the Tuda Daubers, king of the high points this week. And let's start with this podcast for Week 1.
Let's do it. I want to start off by saying I second what the commissioner said there. You know, we definitely do on this day remember that. This is filmed on September 11th, so it's just time to remember those things, and we'll never forget. And keep your patriotism up. So let's move right on into this.
Let's move on into this wonderful Week 1.
Week 1, high score. The Tuda Daubers, ba-bam!
Ba-bam!
Yeah,
they did a lot of talking shit about you on the message board this week, but I think you shut them up.
You know, they came at us pretty strong on the message
board.
Me and you, about our, picking ourselves to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey,
gunning for us. I mean, gunning for me. Fitz was gunning for me.
I won.
Surprisingly, 2-0. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I was, wasn't I?
Yeah. Two teams.
Speaking of which, this is $50. You know who I got this from, Mr. Bohica.
Bohica.
Yeah, I'll slide that on in my pocket. Here's the wink for you. Don't ever try to challenge me, son.
Yeah, the toilet bowl goes to 5.
That's pretty incredible. I can't believe his team got the toilet bowl. You know, the newbies got their butts whooped pretty good this week.
2.9. 2 out of the 3 lost. Notre Dame Nation won, but Lethal Weapons and Foz had a real poor routing on point-wise.
And I absolutely called the spread being covered of 40 points or higher. LeVar's Legends whooped that bootay and covered the spread. I have another spread coming for you this week.
Uh-oh. Put it to them. That's right.
All right.
Talking about putting it to them. Not by too much, but the commissioner's picks.
Yeah.
The commissioner went 4-8. The co-commissioner went 5-7.
So I do have to pass my crown this week.
So by a mere single game, I'll go ahead and take reign of the crowd.
And I have to give him $20, but all I brought is Bohica's 50. So if you got change, I'll cut it in. But if you don't, we'll work with it.
Maybe I'll keep it, and
we'll keep.
I plan on winning the next few weeks anyway, so I'll just put it on a tab.
I don't really need it, you know. That's just a little small change. Bohica, appreciate you.
I'll put it on the tab. Going into this week, we saw what was going on. There were 2 trades made. There's been some trades made after this week. How did you feel about Week 1?
I think Week 1 was really good. I think there was a lot of teams in this league that went out here and decided that it's time to make some moves. I know there's been some trade offers been sent out. Not a lot of counters are going down, and people are getting frustrated from what I've heard. If you get a text message or a trade offer on the site, please at least try to counter. Unless you're just completely uninterested whatsoever, then don't counter. But try to work with teams. If they want to trade with you, you might can better your team. They might can better their team. The blockbuster of today was Fitz, for the first time, I think, in this entire 4 or 5 years of playing, actually got over on somebody in the deal.
Yeah, Chad, I feel like, got over on Bohica a little bit.
Yeah, well,
on a trade, and then Fitz got over on Chad.
Well, I don't.
Blood, sweat, and queers.
I really don't know if Chad got over on Bohica. I just think that by trading a quarterback and then turn around and picking up the backup, he might know something.
Maybe he will. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows? But the trades are starting to flow. We're going to see more as the time goes on. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next one.
And I'm ready to deal, so send me all the trade offers you want.
You're always ready to deal.
I'm always ready to deal. I'll try to better my team, you know.
Any other thoughts on Week 1?
Week 1 was really good. A lot of points over 200. A lot of people scored close to 200 and got some losses. I think 200 is going to be the standard this year with the added of head coach, and I think the scoring is going to be up. I was completely surprised that the Packers got beat by the Niners. That kind of shocked me.
Yeah, based on what you said last week, that there was something you didn't think was coming. We did have 8 teams score 200 points, so you think you scored in the 190, 180, you should have won. You scored a lot of points. There was at least 8 teams that scored 200. So
that's a third of the league, guys.
The bar is going up.
Third of the league, guys. Yeah,
so
the bar's going up.
Let's move right into Week 2. We do have a Thursday night game. Every Thursday night game every week this year, so make sure your lineups are set accordingly. The Crushers, sometimes you're going to have to get on the site more than once a week.
Speaking of which Crushers, there is a couple people out here that have been sending you some trades. We would appreciate if you take some time out of your busy schedule and make some counters.
Yeah, it would help.
And it wasn't me.
That's a shot.
Yeah, no shit.
You probably just texted him.
Nah.
You went straight to the source.
Nah.
You want to get into the Week 2 matchups?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Week 2
I'm fired up for
matchups.
that. Let's do it.
Hardcore versus Walmart.
We're not going to break this game down. We only picked a few games to break down this week. We felt the podcast last week went really excessive in 26 minutes, so we're going to try to keep this one under control. So I'm going to go with hardcore this week over Walmart greeters.
I'm going to go with hardcore too. I don't think the champ's going to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Colossal versus More Gooder.
This is a breakdown matchup. I'm going to go with More Gooder. I feel like Eli versus Tampa Bay is a good matchup. Romo against Seattle is a good matchup. I like Forte against Green Bay's suspect run defense. I like DeMarco Murray against Seattle. He's going to get some of that action some way or another in that Seattle game. I don't know if Champ Bailey's going to guard Dez White or not. Roddy White on Monday night. So Roddy White's his receiver. And then Knicks, I think he'll get back into the swing of things in the second week. Steve Johnson against Kansas City. Kansas City can't stop anybody. And he's got good defensive players as well. Although I do think that Colossal Connection has some decent matchups. I just don't know what the hell's wrong with New England, and Brady and Wes Welker combination just didn't work out for him. They didn't work out for him.
It didn't work out for him. Now, they did run the ball more than normal. So that may be either a thing to come, or maybe it was just a blip on the radar.
28 rushing attempts, I believe, for Ridley, which might turn out to be a great pickup for this year.
You're going More Gooder? I'm going to go with Colossal Connection on this one. I don't think Colossal Connection is going to start out 0-2 either. Colossal Connection, I think Brady's going to have a better game than he started out with. We're going to see some more points from him. More Gooder? I just have a hard time picking More Gooder in any matchup.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that real quick, too. Gooder texted me this morning talking about he wants us to continue to pick against him because he's going to go undefeated. Well, that's not going to happen because you do play me this year, and I'm going to tap that booty. So you picked against him. I'm picking with him just based upon what the matchups and the teams say, not because I think he's got this super stud team or anything.
Well, let's go to the next matchup. Okay. Power and Light versus Oklahoma.
Power and Light, to me, has better quarterbacks, better receivers. Got beat last night on Monday night by Brad's late charge with the players he had left. I'm going with Power and Light.
Power and Light. I'm going with Power and Light, too. I don't think they're going to start out 0-2. I think some of these teams are too good to be 0-2. Oklahoma won last week. I don't think they're going to be able to compete this week, though. What you talking about, Hillis versus the Killer Bees?
This is my point spread game I was talking about.
The
Killer Bees are going to win this game very convincingly. But their third, fourth, fifth running back scored 15, 20 points for them last week. They're going to win this game by 30 points or more, guaranteed.
30 points. All right. Not as big as last week's spread, but it's a big one. I'm going to go with the Killer Bees as well. 6165 Show versus Pain Inc.
I'm going to roll with Pain Inc. this week. I like Eli, like I said earlier, against Tampa Bay. I think Schaub will have a good game against Jacksonville. Ray Rice against Philly. You can't stop Ray Rice. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to run him. I like Ridley against Arizona. Arizona's run defense is just Jordy Nelson, Knicks, Brown. I don't really like Brown against the Jets because I think Rebus will be shadowing him. He does have bad defensive team matchups, but the 6165 Show, I'm a little worried about Michael Vick making it through the Baltimore game, and I have him. I don't know who's going to start at running back. He's got 5 good running backs. He's got a dilemma. I don't want that dilemma every week. A.J. Green, they're moving him all around. I don't know if he's going to get any touchdowns. Macklin's hurt. Don't know if he's going to play. I don't like Brandon Lloyd at all for New England because they got too many options. So
you think that
I'm going with Pain Inc.
6165 Show has a couple guys made out of glass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 6165 Show. I can't hear you.
They've been silent on the message board.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They talked big stuff last week. Even got to you a little bit. But I haven't heard them in the last few days.
I think they're too busy looking past their first 3 weeks matchups, but they better wake up soon because they may be 0-2 after this week. I'm going with Pain Inc.
I'm going to go with Pain Inc. as well. 6165 Show. I thought you had a decent team from the draft.
He still does.
But I just think that the competition level's risen more than I probably anticipated. So I'm seeing you're starting out 0-2.
0-2, wow.
HLR versus Sandusky.
He changed his name after we said, don't change your name. You might have got it in before we got the podcast done, but please, everybody, do not change your team name.
Sandusky hurt my tight end.
Sandusky hurt his tight end. I'm going to hurt his tight end this week. I'm picking me, HLR.
Well, I think I'm going to go with Sandusky. I think Sandusky might hurt your tight end.
I don't think so.
I went against the HLR team last week. I'm going against them this week.
HLR, baby.
I think Sandusky came out of nowhere. He surprised me. We'll see what happens.
He's got some firepower.
Shawshankers versus LaVar's Legends.
This is a breakdown matchup this week. This was a tough matchup for me to call. I think it's close, really close, within 10 to 15 points maybe. I'm going to go with Shawshankers. I'm thinking Brady might have a bounce back week against Arizona. Cutler and Rogers, I think that's going to be a shootout game because neither one of them teams' defenses are that great. I think Wayne won't make the mistake this week and not start Doug Martin. He will put Doug Martin in against a tough Giants defense. His second running back, please, guys, if you got 4 or 5 running backs, offer this guy running back. Cedric Benson against the Bears? No. Ben Tate? No. So we'll skip the running backs. Offer this guy running back. Julio Jones versus Denver. They already said Champ Bailey's going to be guarding Julio Jones. Cruz and Lance Moore, his sleeper pickup. They paid that dividends for him. I'm going with Shawshankers. I think LeVar's got some suspect matchups. I don't like Stafford against the Niners. I don't like Big Ben against the Jets, although the Steelers can't run. I don't like McCoy against the Ravens. So he's got a couple receivers hurt. Greg Jennings probably won't play. Stevie Johnson against KC. That might work out, but he's probable. But I'm going with Shawshankers for sure.
Well, I texted Shawshankers Sunday morning, said it's time to shank the Shawshankers.
Ooh.
He texted me back saying, only if Calvin Johnson got 40. He didn't get 40, and
Wow.
I still shanked your ass.
Wow.
And I think LeVar's Legends is going to shank your ass.
I don't know.
I said LeVar Legends is going to make the playoffs. I'm holding to it here. I think LeVar's Legends is going to start out 2-0, which will help his playoff push. I'm not sure if he'll be able to sustain the season as it goes on, but I think he's going to come off to a hot start, and this is going to be part of it.
LeVar's got a very solid team. I'm not knocking his team. I just think he has horrid matchups this week. I would not want to play Stafford against
I think
the
matchups
Niners
are a little
and Big Ben against the Jets.
a little rough, but when you get behind, the game gets a little rough. Sometimes the stats start to rise.
Yep, that's true.
From guys that you're not expecting.
That's true.
Lethal Weapons versus the Tuna Daubers.
Tuna Daubers wins easy. Lethal Weapons, you guys better get on the site and make a move quickly. You're going to wake up and be 0-3-4. You're going to get your ass spanked this week. Tuna Daubers wins this week.
Yeah. The only thing I got to say about this matchup is, ba-bam! Tuna Daubers.
Tuna Daubers
Do you believe in magic?
will absolutely crush the Crusters this week. This is an old school matchup from back in the old Lear where I used to work. We used to work together days. We used to walk around talking big smack. Crushers, I think me and you have about a dead even record over the course of the 7-8 years this league's been running, but I'm going to break the tie this week. I'm going to crush that ass.
I believe you're going to crush that ass too. I'm going, do you believe in magic?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo-Wah.
The Foz versus Bohica.
You know, Foz, you're going to get beat again this week. God dang. Dude, I'm sorry. Bohica made a trade. I don't think it really helped his team. I don't know if he's even going to start him, but I think Bohica's got enough firepower. Trust me, I played against this guy. He's got a lot of firepower. You didn't show me much this week with your team. I'm going with Bohica.
I'm going to go with Bohica as well. Kills me to say that, but sometimes the brutal, honest truth has to come out.
Yep.
Bohica's going to win that matchup. Notre Dame Nation versus Fear Fits.
This is a matchup we're going to spend a couple minutes on real quick. Notre Dame Nation, quote, told me that if he loses the Fear Fits, he's going to go out back after work and beat his own ass. He said Fitz doesn't do nothing but send out hustle deals. He said don't send him no trades. Come correct if you're going to. I'm going to roll with Notre Dame Nation. I do think Fitz improved his team today by getting Flacco and Romo and Ridley, but he's got a question mark with Marshawn Lynch. I don't trust him. I do like Jordy Nelson, and that is only if Green Bay's other receivers out. I like Julio Jones, although he's going to be shadowed by Champ Bailey. Victor Cruz, hopefully he'll get back into the motion. Notre Dame Nation, I love your matchups. You got Breeze versus Carolina. You got Rivers versus Tennessee. You got McFadden versus Miami. You got Murray versus Seattle. Steve Smith against the no-defense New Orleans Saints. Brandon Marshall against Green Bay. You got great matchups this week. I'm picking Notre Dame Nation solely on matchups, though.
Notre Dame Nation versus Fear Fits. I'm going to go with Fear Fits. Notre Dame Nation, I have a hard time believing you're coming in the league starting out 2-0. You had a great win last night versus Blood, Sweat, and Beers. Boosted up the confidence. But I think it's going to be time to come down to reality just a little bit and get you right in line with the rest of the league. I think you're going to be 1-1. Fear Fits is going to win this match.
And that, you know what, beating Blood, Sweat, and Beers triggered him to do a lot of moves. He was on the move today, on the phone, texting, calling, trying to make moves. Speaking of texting and phone and calling, wait a second. I got a text message from Fitz. He wants something said on the air. Let me grab my phone real quick and get this in here. Fitz was... Let's see here. He said, the man doesn't possess the ability to negotiate. I send a trade offer and he counters with 8 guys, all starters, high scorers, and gets pissed when I decline. He's only out to help himself. He's going to have a hard time sustaining in this league. Fear Fits will welcome this rookie's ass into the league properly with a win this week. Quote.
Woo! Now that's some trash talk. I like it.
I like it.
Maybe you put that on the message board, Fitz. Let's go. Move on to Balls Out versus Blood, Sweat, and Beers.
Last matchup of the week, I'm going to go with Balls Out. I think Stafford. I don't think that's a great matchup. I think Manning in Atlanta is a good shootout. He's got better receivers. I warned everybody about Cam Newton. They're not going to let him rush for 16 touchdowns this year. He may get 7 or 8. That may help him out. 300 yards and 1 touchdown. That's just an average quarterback. I can get that out of anybody, really. I mean, Alex Smith can do that. So if Cam Newton don't show up, Blood, Sweat, and Beers, I don't care who your running backs are, you will not win this game.
Yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Beers. I think your players are last year's players. I'm going with Balls Out to win this matchup. You had a good trade with Bohica, but then you turn around and ruined it with the trade with Fitz. Didn't help your team. You just loaded up on running backs. You can only start 2. I realize you may be able to parlay that into something going forward, but as of right now, the way your team sits on this day, I'm going with Balls Out to win this matchup.
And Blood, Sweat, and Beers, I'm not dogging your team whatsoever. I think your team is too much based on Cam because this week you got Big Ben in a bad matchup, McCoy in a bad matchup, Ray Rice going against Philadelphia. I don't know what that match is going to be. I don't like Buffalo and the Chiefs. So you got Dwayne Bowe and Percy Harvin versus Indy. He may get 100 yards, but he's not going to do anything spectacular. I do not like Brandon Lloyd whatsoever. Too many options in New England. So I'm going to go, like I said, I'm rolling with Balls Out. You're rolling with Balls Out. Good luck. There's the picks. Good luck with the rest of it. To end the podcast for this week, if you have any ideas for the commissioners, we're going to keep our bet going. We didn't get any hits on that last week. If you want to be on the podcast, please contact us. Let us know. We may be doing some random calls next week if we can get anybody to contact us and let us know they want to be on or do an in-studio interview or whatever the case may be.
We're looking for appearances, folks. You come be a part of the podcast.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, let's go. Week 2, it's done.
Peace out.